look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a tear for my brother. I really wanna try for my brother.
Yo,
'Cause I truly do
what it
feel
is?
for my brother.
We're back. What's happening? Welcome back to another episode of the InforMILLy podcast. We are four brothers from the neighborhood of Miller, Indiana. Miller, inside of Gary, Indiana. That have known each other and been friends for over 2 decades, and that love to meet up, have conversations, and bust each other's testicles, as the saying goes. That's how they say it, right? No.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. Busting balls,
shooting the old shit.
Play the 12s. I'm just saying a bunch of colloquialisms wrong.
Tossing a bit of excrement here and
there. Yanking your links.
Let's go.
But we'll thank y'all for joining us another time. In case you didn't know, because we just found out, this is our season finale. Bum bum bum. Season 1. Because we decided that Adam needs a vacation. And so,
All right.
So we want to thank y'all for joining us again. And in case this is your first time, like I said, we're from Miller Beach inside of Gary, Indiana. If you don't know anything about Gary, it's a hometown of famous icons like Michael Jackson, Glenn Robinson.
Big Dog.
What'd you say?
Big Dog. That's his nickname.
Huh?
Yeah.
Big Dog.
Oh, Big Dog.
Yeah. Milwaukee Bucks.
Robin Harris is from Gary, Indiana.
Freddie Gibbs.
Although he don't really claim it. Mike Epps is from Gary, Indiana. Freddie Gibbs is from Gary, Indiana.
Oh, nice. Okay, nice.
I didn't know Mike Epps was.
I thought it was Indianapolis, but that's
me too.
I think he lived in Gary at some point, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he probably claims not more. Those are everybody that's coming to my head. And the whole Jackson, so I'm just going to say Michael, the entire Jackson family who was raised behind Roosevelt High School. And so, fellas, my name is Josh. I said fellas first, but yeah, my name is Josh. I kind of usually curate shit, but in my stead, I've always got the fellas here. Aaron, how you doing, sir?
Yo. I'm doing quite well, man. It's good to see you guys again.
Always.
For sure.
Brother Johnson, what's good with you?
Is the roof? I'm doing all right. Now I know I'm not gonna sit here and not say anything about this election.
Oh no, we're gonna get there. That's definitely where we're starting. I just wanted to check in first.
Okay.
Yeah. Marco, what's new in your world?
How y'all feeling, man? Nothing too new. Feeling good though. Loving life.
For sure.
Y'all want to say something?
In spite of it all.
About my check-in. Yesterday, I ran into a one-eyed cat, and that motherfucker seemed happy as hell. It seemed happy as a two-eyed cat. It had nothing to worry about. I just want to that was my entertaining and somewhat odd experience, man. But
I can make a very sexist joke that I'm going to avoid. So
I couldn't let that shit slip. You know what I'm saying?
No, bro.
The check-ins, I gotta add that, bro.
You don't see one-eyed cats that often.
Exactly, and it was like it was cool with it. It was cool with having one eye. No comparing. It was all good.
Yeah. So the date is November 6th. Technically, we are 3 days post the quote-unquote election day, although you can vote before election day and whatnot, but it's like tax day. You can pay your taxes before April 15th, but it's the deadline. And due to mail-in ballots, absentee votes, etc., this bitch still ain't over in spite of it all. I believe announcements being made tomorrow, but What are y'all feeling? When this comes out, we'll know who is taking office and all that kind of stuff by the time this episode comes out. You said maybe.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it?
Well,
if this shit lasts for 2 weeks, that's ridiculous.
Like I do believe that they probably will announce like a tentative, blah blah blah, like Joe Biden or whatever. But I'm almost positive they're gonna push for like recounts, and I just don't see them not. And honestly, I hope they do. To be honest, just so
they will.
Just so all the Republicans that don't want to accept the results, like let's recount everything, just so you can just shut up when it's all said and done, and just go back to your corner. So I kind of would like for them to recount everything, just so everyone's at peace with that. Even though they're still, even if they recount everything and still
or lose,
like they're still gonna find something else to say they cheated about. But and honestly,
but this whole thing is wild in the first place.
It is. It really is. Like, it's been, and honestly, I'm not gonna speak a lot about it because I know people are probably tired of hearing about it, especially 3 weeks from November 6th. So I'm gonna just say this, just to keep it light. I think the memes that have come from this has been probably the best series of memes that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They've been so good. Man, they've been really good.
Memes and gifs. There have been some great gifs too.
Yeah. That's all I got, actually. I'm gonna keep it light.
Yeah, I'm really just like ready. I'm ready for this shit to be over so I can hear something else on NPR other than you know what I'm saying? I'm ready to hear a little something else on NPR, man. You know what I'm saying?
But the much like pee that sits in the dick, like that waits to come out like 25 minutes after you went to the bathroom, this shit is not going to be over when you thought you finished.
It just sits in the dick.
And there's suits involved. Like,
I love how concerned all your faces got. Like, where the fuck is he going with this?
Like a shirt, like a shirt and a shirt and a cable, or a shirt.
I was like,
that took a lot of work to get from there to there.
Yeah. But admittedly, I probably could have done that better. But I'm not gonna act like I'm the only one with this problem. As soon as you hit 28, every dude has this issue. In case you didn't know that, peeing go to the bathroom, shake the living shit out of your dick, and then 20 minutes later, when you stand up randomly, a little more pee comes out. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just the way it is.
I concur.
And it's literally that thing of that's how this election is going to be. That even after everything is said and done, there's been recounts and all of that shit. The fact that people are like, stop counting, as if that's going to give you a different result. You're already losing.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like if they stop counting it, like, oh, and here's the thing. Now we're good. Like, you're losing the popular and the electoral vote. Why? What are you even arguing at this point?
I feel like they just trying to.
Why don't people know how counting works? Sorry.
Yeah, they act like is there? I know it's a machine, but people got to still feel, put it in there. But I was gonna say, like, I think they trying to stall the whole situation to like soak up every second of this dude being in office. Like,
possibly,
it's still 3 months.
Yeah, I don't understand really how they're gonna prolong it that long, but this dude, I wouldn't put it past the government to find a way for him to, I don't know, fandangle out of getting out of there.
Well, sorry,
the reason why it's taking so long. Hey, what?
It sounded like you said to fandango, like the movie.
Fandango his way out of
fandango.
Yeah, he gonna go to the movies.
The issue is,
at least, he gonna be in the office at least 3 more hours until this fucking movie is over.
The issue though, the reason why it's taking so long is they're having to count like physical ballots. because like
Right.
they've already counted the computer generated, but they're having to count the mail-in ballots
mail-in.
and the absentee. And if millions of those came in, I mean, that's going to take some time.
And that's
not even
that's what I'm
including.
saying. Do they have to put those in the machine?
Oh, I see. I honestly, I have no clue how that process works.
I don't know what the review process is with mail-ins, but you even with that, they're not even taking into account how inside of all of this voter suppression, there's been thousands of mail-in ballots that have attempted to be discredited for a multitude of reasons. That they're like, hey, they were letting people know on Wednesday, sending out all these emails and texts and all that kind of stuff, being like, hey, if you sent in the mail-in this state, you got till Friday 6 p.m. to check on your stuff to verify that it's you, because they're trying to discredit so many things. But yeah, I know we were trying to lead us alone, but the all of it is just stupid to me.
Just one thing though.
Historic.
It is. It's like people, like I'm not even. I don't even understand what like. Some people, I guess, in this Republicans are like having serious complaints about the mail-in ballots. It's like, yo, there was a pandemic here. I like that we have the option to do the fucking mail-in ballot. I did the mail-in ballot, so I didn't have to stand in line. One, because I don't want to stand in line for fucking hours. I don't want to stand in line for 3 days. Let's be honest. And and there's a fucking pandemic.
Yeah, I was wondering,
that was the alternative. So,
like, what was the strategy? Go ahead,
Marco. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say what. Okay, go ahead. You go first.
Okay, my bad. It's a simple thing. We
do it at the same time.
We don't mean to talk at the same time.
Yeah.
One, mail-in voting has always existed.
Correct.
It didn't come because of it. And two, he did mail-in voting.
Yep.
Donald Trump mailed in his votes. So how could you sow the seeds of doubt into the public against mail-in voting when that's what you do?
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I mean, you're right, especially with that. I mean, that makes it more mind-blowing, but the fact that everybody knows there was a pandemic and we're still in this pandemic. How could you argue against mail-in ballot? I mean, just on that particular topic, how could you argue against it? There's a fucking pandemic. That is the alternative. We haven't figured out how to fucking do it with our phones or technology yet. So,
So what was his strategy of trying to tell people not to do mail-in?
Well,
go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, he was saying that if we do that, if it goes that route, people are going to be cheating and there's going to be fraud. Even though some report came out and said, like, people have like Josh said, people have mailed in votes for I don't know, I guess centuries. I don't know, but and then they're like the odds of fraud happening are so slim, and even if it is, it's like not even a fraction of a percent. It's not. It wouldn't even affect the outcome of the election. But
go ahead.
Say this real quick. But what's so fascinating? What's so interesting about it? There's a lot of Republicans like, how did Joe Biden get such a jump overnight? And what's so funny is that this is orchestrated by your president. Donald Trump was like, go vote in person. So what did Trump supporters do? They went and voted in person. All the left-leaning people, I'm not saying everybody that voted mail-in is left-leaning, but I'm saying that it's kind of been a thing for it's kind of been a thing for Democrats to typically trust science, and they're like, okay, there's this pandemic, so do the mail-in ballots. So a lot of the votes that were mailed in are from Democrats, which is why that surge happened, because all the Republicans, all the Trump, the worshipers, they went and voted in person like he told them to. All the Democrats, not all the Democrats, but a good amount of Democrats voted the absentee thing, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's where that surge came from, and they can't figure that out.
That was my only comment on it. It's like, why is this? Why is anybody acting like this is such a big thing? Duh. COVID has been a big thing. Duh.
Because they're losing. If they were winning, they wouldn't have an issue with it.
Right. That's how you sow that seed of doubt. Is you go, you know, your base is going to go vote in because you spent however long discrediting the pandemic, discrediting all the procedures toward the pandemic, et cetera, to vote in person. So you know those counts are going to come in first. And then you're going to try to advocate to say they're going to cheat inside of the mail-in because that's what the other side is doing. And then you're like, stop the count too late, but stop the count when it looks like we're ahead.
Mhm.
I think he's trying to use this time to cheat himself. Like, let me prolong this to let me figure out a way to sway this thing some way.
What do you mean?
I mean,
He's
he's
trying
trying to
to
do
figure out
something.
some type, like time
Yeah.
is gonna buy him some. He always got some type of plan. Like this dude,
Like a villain.
yeah. Like I'm gonna
Yo,
sue now.
yeah, Gru from
That's
Despicable Me.
Yeah.
He'll
he
pull
got
out
a
his
way
freeze
out for
ray.
everything, man.
Yo, I'm over this. Can we move on?
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah, let's leave this alone. So around the time this is coming up, the holidays will be upon us. And with the holidays usually comes time with family. I don't know about y'all, but I tend to enjoy my family. I don't get to spend that much time with enough of them, but I do enjoy my family. That includes step families, that includes blood family, friends family, like everybody that's, kin and blood alike. And so to get a little more, in there, all of us have siblings, right? Have any of your older siblings influenced you in a way that you are still affected today?
I would say yeah. um, I think well, all of I will just give one example of with my brother. I think that growing up, since we are close in age,
Mm-hmm.
we always like competed in a way. Like I guess like little things in not just like sports stuff, but just like if whatever it may be, like games or um whatever. And we are very similar but very different. But I think that's one thing uh when you have a brother that's close in your age, is like that competition is there. So like um
Kind of like a
I think-
rivalry.
yeah, but you were saying like how does it apply to today maybe?
Like how did they
Yeah,
like what are some of the ways you were influenced as far as like
yeah,
worldview, interest, style?
yeah.
Like my
Well, I
brother
was
told me
just
to figure eight when I'm in the puss. So I got that
Ooh, I
technique
got
from
stories.
him.
I got stories.
I think that's the main thing with
The figure eight?
my brother.
Oh.
No, we never had that talk. But yeah, I'll try to think of something else, but I'm gonna start with that.
Okay.
Yo,
Hey, Doug, what about you?
mine is similar, man. I mean, you guys, all of my friends know that we definitely all are competitive. So like y'all know that without me even having to say anything, dog.
Yeah.
And that shit's been that way since I can remember, yo.
Mhm.
Always competitive, and like definitely, it definitely was unhealthy at times, but it was also like inspiring at others. Just watching my brother, like my older brother Brandon, grow up like playing basketball and just and improving just athletically was always something that inspired me. And I remember actually, I'm not sure if I was at Emerson yet. I might have been in elementary school, and we had a project in like my English class, and the topic was somebody who inspired you. I'm not sure if they asked specifically family or otherwise, but I remember choosing him because I would see him in the gym or just like actually down the street at the basketball court down the street. And just always, man, early in the morning, at night before the street lights came on, just always hammering it away. So I remember like he was the first person I thought of, and I kind of feel like based on some of the moves I've seen him make even later on in life, that I still see some of that in regards to like dealing with challenges and whatnot. I feel like he doesn't give up very easily, and I've always appreciated and admired that about him. So that like if I was to think about somebody like that who inspires me in that way, that's something that stuck with me for sure. And that's like it's a really good, it's a lighter answer because a lot of my other ones are like competitive fighting. One, you know what I'm saying? I mean, yo, the littlest shit, like who gonna sit in the front seat, today? And my aunt would have to like just be fair and equal. Okay, Monday and Wednesday, you get.
But that's kind of why I brought up that the competition thing, because like I think that's something that always stick with you. Like, you kind of gotta compete in the circles you're in sometimes. So it's
good point.
like it like how if you around like it give you kind of like an edge, like a roughness, like when you around like the fellas and you have that competition, like a friendly competition, but like it make you better.
Yeah.
Yo.
Also like another thing is like me and my brother always would we like do it yourself type of person. Like and I think that's my brother is very probably more so than me. Like he will fix his cars, like he somewhat of a jack of all trades. And I think we both are kind of like that. But my brother gets in depth with that type of world too, probably more so than me. And that's something that's very like influential too.
Word.
Show.
Adam, what about you?
So for me, like, okay, so as Josh said, I posed this question, and the reason it popped up in my head because a few days ago I was driving home from work, or I was driving home somewhere, I don't know, but I was driving, and I was listening to I was listening to my funk playlist, and
Come on.
and I was like, why am I listening? Like, not why like it's a bad thing, but like I was like, when, why am I listening to this? And I was like, and I thought of my oldest sister, and like she is the one that kind of put me onto that because I remember because my oldest sister, she's older, she's old enough to be my mom actually, but she grew up in like that 80s, so she's like big into Prince and that era, and like George Clinton and those guys. So yeah.
Funkadelic.
Yep. So I was listening to like, this music and like, man, I definitely got that from her because like there's no other introduction to that. Like, so for me, I'm like, so then I started just thinking like about all the ways that specifically she's influenced. I mean, not that it matters, but she's hands down the sibling I'm closest to, or probably family member I'm closest to, period, is my oldest sister. We're the most alike. And like the traveling, I get that from her. Like she's been to she's been to every continent except Antarctica at this point. And she's the one that she took me on my first trip. I mean, it wasn't really out of the country, but it was PR, Puerto Rico. And that was my first experience.
That's still out of the country.
Yeah, out of the 50, states, whatever. And like, and ever since then, I was like, man, this is cool. And like, ever since it just stuck with me. So like, the traveling, the music, like Stevie Wonder is like my favorite old school artist. I remember when she was because she was in the army. She was in the army, and part of being in the military is your stuff, your belongings being at your parents' house. That was just because I remember that in my life too. And I remember going through her music collection because back in the day, people had CDs. And there's this greatest hits, the Stevie Wonder's greatest hits, like two disc, maybe even 3 disc. But I know there's
the
released
hits.
2. And I remember stumbling onto that CD and playing it. I'm like, this is awesome. So I started listening to Stevie Wonder like in the 5th or 6th grade, you know, based on her and other artists too. And then like while I'm on the subject of music, like the fact that I like 90s hip hop, I get that from my brother, my older brother, and my other older sister. She's not as old, but my other older sister, they were listening to Jay-Z and Outkast and Goody Mob and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of my musical influence comes from them. The fact that I like traveling comes from, you know, my older sister. It's interesting because I never really thought about it like that. Like why I like the things I like. I mean, I like because I like it, but it also I think when you're introduced to something at a young age, it kind of just sticks. Um, and I'm glad it was things that was of substance and that they weren't into like some whack stuff. And then like I grew up to like whack stuff. Because like I remember what grade was this? It was at Banneker, maybe 4th or 5th grade, and we had like a pizza party. And I remember bringing my sister's. She had a Lauryn Hill CD. And I remember, and they were like, you can bring music and stuff. And I remember bringing a Lauryn Hill CD. It just I don't know. I just have a lot of these memories of music. Like I remember listening to like what album was that? It was Jay-Z. I think it was like it was the album with Hard Knock Life, whatever. Which I think Life in Hard Times Volume 2 or something like that. But so for me, it's music is like the biggest influence I get from them. I know this is a long-winded answer, but
Oh
Nah,
man,
bro, it's great.
you actually brought up some good points because I could probably pick something out of all of my siblings. I mean, I was thinking like that definitely stuck with me in a positive way, I guess. Like definitely my aunt also. So yeah, you brought up a good point. I mean, you could definitely do that, and it's a good thing. I think that's one of the wonderful things about having like these first group people that you start out life with.
yeah.
You know, like how it can
That was
affect you in a wonderful way.
that was actually the name of the album, Hard Knock Life Volume 2.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Or Volume 2, Hard Knock Life.
And I'll say this,
mhm.
and I'll say this last bit. The like one of the most important is like the fact that I'm like into art and stuff. That's from them too, because not my oldest sister. I'm trying to leave their names out of it, but not my oldest sister.
Why?
I don't know. Just I don't know, keep their identity. but so
yo, we got hella followers now, man.
Like my brother, my oldest brother, and my younger older sister, they were both into drawing and stuff. They're like, I want to try that. So I started drawing, and then I was like, by the time I was like 12, I was better than both of them. You know, I was like, so I actually had a natural like a knack for it, obviously, and they were okay. But I'm just glad because I'm thinking like, well, if they weren't into it, would I have ever even tried to do it? I don't know. So
interesting. Yeah.
You know, so I can credit that to them too. Because I used to draw in church all the time. Like, you know, like I remember that drawing on like the programs. I would just always like do like little sketches and stuff, whatever.
Yo, I guess I gotta mention really quick before Josh and Marco go. I think it might have been a combination of my brother Brandon once again and my cousin Cliff, who first introduced me to Mr. Marshall Mathers. So I definitely owed him that. I owed him that, man. Yo, like it was a cassette tape too.
Oh, dang.
Goddamn cassette tape, bro. I was wearing that motherfucker out.
My sister had the R&B, going on.
Yeah.
like Cisco. And
Okay.
I remember her.
Yeah.
I remember her. Cisco, like Brandy.
Yeah.
Wait, Cisco specifically or Drew Hill?
Well, Drew Hill, yeah, too. Definitely. Just that era, you know that era. That's
Yeah.
that
90s R&B,
yeah.
Late 90s.
Yeah.
Was
yeah.
What's funny, my oldest brother, Jamal, shout out to him. He was a musical influence for me when it came to rock. He's the reason why I'm so into Coheed and Cambria.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to him about that, bro.
Yo, and he'll tell you like, get the fuck out of my face. No, he probably wouldn't. He barely cusses. But no, I remember like being in Florida at Disney World, bumping The Offspring, and just like I distinctly remember like listening to my friend's got a girlfriend and he hates that bitch. He tells me every day. Like I remember that like as I'm driving to go like ride the Spider-Man ride or some shit. And so
that's another memory
at Universal Studios in like what was that?
Yeah.
Like 2000. And so he was a big influence with me on that. Video games real hardcore.
Yeah, I think he influenced me with her video games actually.
Yeah, so I was like, yo, because Adam, you were at the house all the time, and
yep.
He was just he always knew what was a great game to get. Between go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just to input. He was great at finding those games that nobody knew about. Like
no one
like no one like what is this? But it's great. But nobody knows what this is. Like
why do we know what Buster Groove is?
Exactly. Love that game.
That game was so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
And shout out to who was that? It was James, who I posted about Buster the Groove not that long ago, and he started singing the song from like Buster Groove Volume 2, but like those kind of games, or y'all played Madden and all of that kind of stuff, and while y'all were playing Madden, I was over there playing Parappa the Rapper and Jamalami and Final Fantasy and
Guitar Man or Guitar Man?
Yeah, Guitar Man.
Guitar Man is a classic.
Yeah, the song with the saxophone, man. Like I used to. I remember I borrowed that game from me for like a week. Like I literally just kept playing that round. Whatever you call it.
And that
Mojo King B.
Yeah,
that's the game.
And so I love him for that. And even though I don't play video games as much, primarily because I mainly like adventure games, and game developers are lazy and they keep wanting to put giant spiders and everything, and so it just ruins everything for me. I'm telling you, I stopped playing the last Jedi Fallen Order because as soon as I saw the first giant spider, I was like, oh, clearly there's going to be a much worse giant spider that's the main boss of this shit. So, but yeah, he was really great with that. And my like minute knowledge of electronics. He's such a computer nerd and tech whiz that I know if I need anything that involves tech whatsoever, I can call him. As soon as my computer started like, which is funny because that is the name of his podcast. Shout out to Caller Brother and his segment Talking Tech.
That's my brother too.
Teaching tech moments.
That's dope.
But the tech stuff,
yeah.
My brother is actually, I believe he's the head of the IT. But he definitely works. I believe it's in a mall. I'm not if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, he know what he's doing out there.
Yo,
I'm like low level of that stuff.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
my mom probably knows more about tech than I do. And I'm not even exaggerating with that. Like she's always been into like that stuff, and she watches what's that channel? Spike. Like
oh yeah.
Yeah, she watches Spike
it's funny.
with that has all like the sci-fi TV shows. I don't even know if it still exists anymore, but I know it did. Like,
I don't think Spike is still on, but I have cable.
Well, she likes stuff like that. So like Star Trek, Star Wars. She likes the Marvel movies, and it's just interesting because my mom's like 60 something, So it's like this 60-something-year-old black woman watching like Star Trek is just funny to me.
Yeah,
Not that they
that's their
can't.
generation though.
True. It just I just know of her siblings, she's the only one into that. I know, out of her sisters or whatever. And it just and I could say that I get a lot from her too, actually. Not with the sci-fi stuff, but just in general. But that could be another episode. But
I mean, we can do a brief one. We talked about siblings. What about parents?
Yo, I mean, I
know I get my sense of humor from my dad. My dad is the funniest person in the world to me.
I can see that.
Dang.
I get my roasting from my dad. I get my sarcasm definitely from my dad. I
think both of my parents are funny in their own way. Like, my dad would just, so his sense of humor was like kind of like both, I guess, him and my mom, like a little like kind of goofy, but like kind of like witty. But man, I get sometimes I like when when you grow up, you see things that you do that's so much like your parents, or or one of them, and it's like, dang, like there's no way you cannot be like the people that raised you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I don't know. My mom is extremely pragmatic.
Well, I don't mean it every way. I'm just saying, like, sometimes you see things that you do or habits that you have. That's like, dang, you realize, like, dang, that's my mom or my dad.
Yeah, that's
no doubt.
I wish I had that.
You don't have nothing. You don't have nothing.
No,
I'm sure I do, but
like maybe
I think. Go ahead.
I would say, like, because I've met your mom many times. I would say, like, probably the way y'all have like a inviting type of
I was gonna say
personality. Like I would say that
my mom is really warm. Like she's always kind of like trying to take care of everybody. As soon as she knows she's in that position, she'll take care of the world. And so I know I do get that from her.
I'm like so glad like we all have like very loving guardians, parents that raised us, man. Like,
yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody ain't blessed like that.
Yeah.
Ooh, you right.
That's true, man. That's a very I just want to say that like my aunt was the first one who introduced me to like Motown. Yeah, like I remember like and she'd be dancing in the morning when she's like making us breakfast before we caught the bus. And she knew she probably still does know how to moonwalk really well. I used to like, she used to be trying to give me, she used to try to give me moonwalk lessons while she's flipping pancakes in the kitchen, bro, in her nightgown.
Let me tell you how I will pay money to see her moonwalk.
Yo, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
I think I get my creativity from my mom. Well, and my dad in a way, because he like did a lot of like I don't know why I keep trying to say construction, but I don't mean to say that. Like like carpentry type of work and just like all like housework or any like mechanical things.
Yep, that's my dad 100%.
Yeah, like now that I think of it, like that's where like me and my brother get that from. Like Mr. Fix It type of thing. But my mom is very creative. I think that's probably where I get most of that from. And other like we can go deeper and deeper into our family as to where
of course
as we keep going. You're right, man.
Yeah, I got some other people that was the same way, but
yeah,
my mom's father, my grandfather, was a music teacher, and my mom plays instruments, and that's probably where I get most of my musical side from is my mom too.
What'd your mom play?
My mom actually plays the flute and the piano a little bit, and
I never knew that.
And I think she plays the saxophone a little bit.
Damn.
Because my granddad was probably his primary instrument.
I don't know why, like you said that, and like an image of your mom, like looking like Bleeding Gums Murphy, just popped in my head. It was a lot of things going on.
Like dancing out the room like Lisa Simpson with the
Yo, that's
funny.
I never knew that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to like have these conversations and be reminded of these things, man.
I got a lot.
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff. Like my dad loves cars, and I'm the same way. Like I know an unnecessary amount of things about cars that I don't even, haven't worked on or nothing like that. Just
yeah.
I can.
I mean, and if you can go
ahead.
beyond your parents too, like I know I get influences from my uncle. Adam, you and me would spend time with my uncle a lot, and cousins. Like it you could kind of trace back particular parts of yourself.
Hey, we had a great time at Indiana Beach when your uncle took us that time.
With my uncle. Oh man. I think Indiana Beach closed like a couple years ago.
I think so.
Yeah, but I heard that somebody bought it back.
Yeah,
somebody
it
bought it
closed.
back?
I think it closed this year. I think it closed
wow.
this year, and then somebody bought it like 2 months later.
Because I was thinking like it can't be like just close. Like
it's the staple. Most of southern Indiana is crap and corn. And so you need Indiana Beach to just bring some kind of liveliness to it.
Yeah.
What's funny is I've never been to Indiana Beach before.
It's the mini getaway. It's the mini getaway, man.
Yeah,
it is. But I gotta say, like, once you've been to Six Flags,
you gotta take that trip.
That fucking Cornball Express ride they got, just don't cut it no more, yo.
No, here's the thing. Once you've been to see, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you don't have nothing to compare. So we keep doing it. I'm gonna go this time.
But it's rock, paper, scissors.
It's like that's the best ride there, and you don't have nothing else, not much there to compare to. Yeah. So it's like exciting comparatively. Like,
yeah.
If that same ride was at somewhere else, you would not go on it.
You wouldn't even ride it. That's the thing about Indiana Beach. It's not a real amusement park. Yeah. It's like a fair that doesn't go anywhere. It's a fair that stays there. And when you go to the fair, you don't have like high expectations. By all means, once you've been to like Cedar Point or Universal Studios, like you don't look at Six Flags like it's a great destination anymore. Like you go, this is
just a place to
chill.
It has its place.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
You gotta take that trip though, man. Go to the cabin.
Yeah, for me, like, so like I said, I've never been, but honestly, even as a kid, I heard the name Indiana Beach. I'm like, it didn't sound fun. like Indiana Beach doesn't sound like a fun place, but maybe it was. But for me, I remember my family. We went to I don't know what this place was called, but we went to some place in Indiana. It could have been Santa Claus, Indiana, but the amusement park was purely based on like Christmas and Santa Claus, but it was open in the summer.
Yeah,
I've heard of that.
Was that?
I think
I've heard of that.
It's like Southern, right?
I think I was so young at this point. I haven't
been like Peru. I knew somebody who like lived near that.
Okay.
Place.
Yeah.
I'd actually always wanted to go.
It was interesting to say the least, but I have very few memories of that place. But I know I've been before. But I can't think of anything about other than it was like being in like the North Pole, but in the summertime. That's what it looked like with no snow. But
you know what, man? You just brought up something for me, just in regards to going on trips. How I grew up going camping. Like my aunt made it a point to take us places every year, at least for the first 10, 11 years, that were away from technology, away from TV, away from, like out in nature. And like I definitely got my appreciation for nature from her and my grandfather for sure. It just that was a really good reminder, man. It just like made me think of like going to places in southern Indiana and elsewhere, and like cliff jumping and shit like that. Oh,
I think we lost Marcus.
I was just about to get to the good part. Damn, he had to dip out. Okay. That was he actually really brought up a really good memory for me, man.
Yeah.
And that was the climax.
Marco will join back in when he can. I'm sure something is going on. He'll be right back. But to kind of tie this back into holidays, let's start off with Thanksgiving, since those seasons are coming toward us of Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, just in case those apply to you. Anything for Thanksgiving that you're particularly looking forward to? Seeing any family members, eating any particular food, taking a good old food nap after on your favorite couch in your mother's basement. Maybe that's just me.
Hey, I love it.
Personally, I'm gonna say, honestly, I don't even know what I'm doing for Thanksgiving, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know. I'll probably make so this past weekend I made this pie, which it was apple and peach.
I love that combination.
Yeah, it's great. It's because you have like the apple, because it was like a Granny Smith, so you got the tartness of the apple, you got the sweetness of the peach. I've been making it for years at this point, but this past weekend.
Quick question: do you with the apple, do you still add sugar to the apples the same way you would when you're making an apple pie, or do you just count on the peaches added most of the?
Oh, I definitely add sugar. There's a lot of sugar.
Okay.
Yeah, and butter. But no, pretty much all I do is just pretend like I'm making an apple pie, and then just substitute like 35% of the apples with peaches, and then
nice.
So,
interesting.
But I'll probably make that. I would say I'm looking forward to that.
In real life, because of COVID shit, I don't even know if my mom is actually like gonna let people over.
Yeah,
because I haven't seen my mother in person this year.
Oh wow, yeah.
Because just don't want to put her at risk.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get a chance to really go over there in the warm months. But we video chat every so often. And we'll talk. But yeah, I don't know if she's letting people in the house, or if she's like, we're only gonna let certain people in the house, or bring your COVID results and
upon entry.
Don't sit next to nobody.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Take that temperature before you step in his house.
Yeah.
Well, Nat and I, we actually are going to spend Thanksgiving by ourselves. We were originally planning on going to Savannah, Georgia, and like spending Thanksgiving on the beach in the sand. But she worked from home now, so it's not an issue for her. But I couldn't get the next day off because people, still like to make their compost and collect that food scraps on Thanksgiving.
It's gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it, bro. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
I mean, no joke. Like some people, like if they're having like a wedding or whatever, let's say they have one bin as their requested bin. Typically, they'll request like 20 bins for that 1 week.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a lot. That was just another way of saying it's gonna be a lot. But so now we're gonna. So now we actually booked a room in this famous hotel in Atlanta, and we're just we got some vegan Thanksgiving food catered in. It's called the Claremont Hotel. When you guys come down here, we definitely got to check it out because they also have what is known as the Claremont, which is like this. It's what I've been told is it's the place where strippers go to retire. So we're probably gonna check that out on Thanksgiving as well if they're open. Yeah, so we're gonna eat this vegan Thanksgiving. Eat this vegan Thanksgiving in our hotel room.
Racing.
And check out this old school, this old school stripper retire club, retirement home.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I don't even know what to do with that information.
Yeah. We switched it up this year, dog. Switched it up. I will definitely let you know.
I got a question about Thanksgiving. If you guys are, well, actually, hey Marcus, we were talking about if you have any plans for Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. I figured that's what it was.
Yeah.
But my mom, well, my nieces and nephew been asking to go to we went to this state park, Potato Creek, some years ago.
Oh, bro. Oh,
yeah,
I love that
it
place.
is dope there. Like there's a cabin that we went to. So they've been asking to go back there, and I think we're gonna do that this Thanksgiving. And we'll see what that's like. We never really do like destination stuff, especially Thanksgivings. But this seems, well, we used to actually go to because a lot of my family is in Indianapolis. We used to go there and like rent out the like a hotel lobby, and we'll stay in the hotel. We used to do that.
That's some
and,
baller shit. You rent out the lobby too. That's baller.
I was like, wait, what?
I mean, it's like, it's not expensive. Like, it's like renting out the room,
like the rec room.
Not like a
at the conference room.
Not like a ballroom or a conference room, but like a meeting room. Basically.
Yeah.
Where we set up our stuff or whatever.
It just sounds funny when you said the lobby.
It does like nah, nobody else comes in the hotel. We got the lobby.
Yeah,
I just instantly thought of like an R. Kelly song or something.
I hate that. Really, since he said my mom, I've been hearing R. Kelly songs and everything you just said. It's like my mom, and I was like, it's telling me no. I was like, I hate it.
I've been influenced by him, man. I'm sorry. not in any other way besides musical talent.
Yeah.
But yeah, we supposed to go there, and I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna see. I mean, it's an outdoors type of thing, but I mean, it's Thanksgiving. We're gonna eat food and talk and play games and whatever. All that stuff family does around Thanksgiving.
And
you gotta say what you think.
The Thanksgiving part.
Yeah, you gotta go around the table and all that.
Everybody get a corny things like, I'm thankful for my mom.
Yeah.
I'm thankful.
My aunt actually used to have us. I don't know if she still has the book, but she had this notebook where every year we all would write one or two things that we're thankful for and then sign it, and then like you could see 5 years later what you were thankful for previously.
That's dope. Cool. I enjoy things like that. I never think to do them, but when you like come across a memory and all of that, like of something you wrote down, like I think I said this before, that I found some journals from high school when I would write down random thoughts or poems that I wrote to women. And you're like, yeah, all right. Clearly, I forgot about this.
I'm just picturing, in my mind, bro, I'm just picturing one of your poems like, bitch bad, lady good. Woman good. Oh, man.
Adam, you had a question you were about to ask.
Yeah, I was gonna ask how y'all feel about like traditional Thanksgiving food, like turkey, dressing. It's like, how do you like? I know it's a pretty vague question, but like,
that's a good question.
In my life, I had turkey one time that I was like, this is great turkey. Every other time, it's like turkey's just there.
Yeah,
but there was one dude. His name is Kelsey Winter Troutwine.
Wait. What's the last 16 syllables of his last name?
His name is Kelsey Winter Troutwine.
Like that should be the episode title, honestly.
Yo,
I feel like he got a wine cellar. I feel like he got a wine cellar somewhere.
He's actually a professional chef.
I was gonna say he
He's,
sounds
no.
like he sounds like a chef, honestly.
yeah, he's
We'll let you
he's the
finish.
husband
Got that wine,
of an old dance friend.
Okay.
But I was like, this is the first turkey I've ever had in my life that I was like, this is fucking delicious.
Damn, yo, was it
turkey
like
is amazing.
Was it like texturing because it wasn't too dry? Like
it was juicy. It was like the texture was good. Like it tasted like it had actually been like, you know how normally with turkey you can't really tell that it was seasoned.
Yeah, because
like
so much meat.
yeah,
it's just so much meat you can't really taste any
You
of that.
gotta
Like,
inject it.
Yeah.
right. But and I don't know what process he put that turkey through, but I was like, this is the best turkey I've ever had in
I
my
know
fucking life.
and
so
infused the goodness.
shout out to him. I think they're out in like Grand Rapids, Michigan, or something like that. But
He got that air
whatever
fryer,
restaurant he is running now, go patronize that motherfucker. Because ever since then, I was like, are you like a Greek god? Is there a god of food? Because I'm like, clearly,
Man,
you got the juice.
we have the meat. All right. Dang.
Yo, on that note, before like to slightly get us off, did you see Arby's bought Dunkin' Donuts for $11.3 billion?
I did
Dang.
not. Wait, so were they a part of the whole Dunkin' dropping its name and just being called Dunkin' instead of Donuts?
No, I think
crazy.
it's just happened.
Oh, wow.
Arby's just bought
Who
Dunkin'
is
Donuts
funding
Basket
Arby's?
Robs for $11.3 billion. And I'm
I
like,
have not met a
how
person
does
who's eaten
Arby's
there in
have
like
that
10
much
years.
money?
I've never understood the Arby's hate though, man.
It's not even the hate.
Arby's is
I think I've been Arby's one time in my life.
I just forget
It was
about
okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Look, I've had it a few times, but I don't like roast beef like that, so it doesn't really have that much appeal. Besides, they have curly fries, and yeah,
I do like the curly fries. Yeah.
But yeah, $11.3 billion.
that's a lot, man.
I thought Dunkin' Donuts may have had more money than them though.
Me too.
Me too.
Because people
Like,
go
they
in there
should
for
be
coffee every
buying
day.
Arby's.
Yeah, I go to
But,
Dunkin'
like-
weekly.
Dude, I know for the coffee
I
alone.
know some
a lot of
people go there
do.
every day.
Every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So some people live by that coffee because it costs 3 cents, and so that's the reason why they can get bought.
Yeah,
I know.
cheaper
dog.
than Starbucks for sure.
Right.
And they have their happy hour too for like 2 or 3 hours a day, and that shit mad cheap, dog. I drive past a Dunkin' Donuts almost every day, like of the work week, and that line is long as shit every time.
Dunkin' Donuts is everywhere, man.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, especially in Chicago. It's like on every corner.
Everyone.
Dunkin', Subway.
But back to the real point. I just had
Yeah.
to bring that up because I thought that was like wild fucking information that I saw this morning.
Yeah.
But whatever the fuck I said before, what the fuck y'all was saying before?
Oh,
that.
the food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanksgiving.
Traditional Thanksgiving. Food.
Thanksgiving food. What are you looking
It's
for?
amazing.
Well, so for me,
I enjoy sides,
yeah,
Dressing.
I'll say that too.
dressing all day.
And even I don't even really like dressing that much. Like for me, the best out of the typical Thanksgiving food, my favorite things are greens, and
Definitely.
mac
Yeah.
and cheese. Really, like those are the best things.
Oh, that mac and cheese.
You
Which
gotta
is
have
why
all of those that we just mentioned.
for me,
You said what?
That
For
we
me,
just completed the whole plate. Well,
What's really funny is I've never really been a big fan of mac and cheese.
but usually it's yams with that,
Yo,
Yeah.
I need my
I barely
sweet
like
potatoes.
yams
beef.
either. It's like
Nah, man, I need
Cranberry sauce,
yams.
bro.
I do like cranberry
and
sauce from the can.
It used to be my
No.
favorite.
Yeah, I do like the canned one too.
Yep.
Cranberry sauce.
It brings that sourness that you need, that tanginess.
Man,
Yeah.
I don't need it. I don't
Actually,
need it at
I
all.
don't need it. I'm good without that.
Especially if you eat it with a bite of turkey at the same time.
Yeah, buddy. You know what though?
But-
My favorite thing is I don't know if you guys have green bean casserole.
I think
Don't
I've had
leave
it
me with the
before.
crickets. Don't leave me with the crickets, man.
I mean,
I've
I gotta
had
tell
it
you, man,
before. I've had it before,
that
and it kind of surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be so good, but it's not something that I have very often.
That cheese layer on top, man. That's my number one go to for Thanksgiving, man. Because like it used to be a tie between that and turkey, but I obviously don't eat turkey anymore, being a vegetarian. So it's like It's the green bean casserole all day, dog.
Okay.
I'm in there. I get a whole motherfucking plate of green bean casserole and call it.
You know, you ever have some food that you're like, I wish I liked that, because either I like the way it looks
It's
or
always
smells,
there.
or like it's just something about you. Like, I wish I liked it, but I just don't.
Mm.
Yeah.
I have that for brisket.
Mm.
Okay. I like brisket.
Mm. Mm.
I mean, one, I stopped eating beef a long time ago, but
Yeah,
it was
I
also
don't-
thinking like when I was eating beef, I would look at brisket and go like, oh man, and then I try it and I'm like, but like literally I have a whole portion of my Instagram Explore page that's like, look at this brisket, and like slicing into brisket, like it looks so appealing.
Been smoked for 10 hours.
Right. It's like we
I
left
know.
this back in 2016, and now it just falls off the bone.
I know there's something, man. I know there's something out there like that. Like probably cheesecake. I do not fuck with cheesecake, but I like the way it smells. It smells
It's just
so
like-
good.
Man, cheesecake.
Wait,
is
hot or
awesome.
cold though? I don't like
Cold.
hot cheesecake.
I like cold cheesecake. Yeah.
If I did like cheesecake, it would have to be cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be hot.
I actually never heard of it being hot either.
Me neither.
I've seen baked
I mean,
cheesecakes.
I know.
You
to
bake
cook
them,
it.
but then you I believe you have to put them in the fridge.
Yeah, you do.
So they can
I guess you don't have
solidify
to.
again. I've seen some people like try to like just eat that shit when it was fresh, and I was like, nah.
Yeah.
No, that ain't.
But
I can't really
That's
do.
against the
I
rules.
like cheesecake. It's just it's a little too rich, and so it like makes my head kind of spin.
I got a quick question about turkey, though, because like one of the things that I love so much about the turkey is like we'd have so much leftovers. I can have a turkey sandwich for lunch every fucking day for 5 days after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
do you agree? What is your experience?
That
Only
is
because
true.
I eat more sides than I do turkey, and so I'm never not in years have I really been at the house that had the food.
Mm-hmm.
And so since I mainly eat sides, I may take some with me. Depends on like if I got to dance like the next day, then I know I'm not going to really eat it again because it's just too heavy and empty carbs and all of that. And so I would enjoy leftovers, but I know I don't take that much, especially not.
Okay, so you said you're normally not at the house with all the extra food. Do you?
Yeah.
Do you make several trips? Because that might mean several plates when you leave.
I'll make one plate because what's been happening for the past maybe 5 or so years is that I'll be in the middle of rehearsal season during Thanksgiving time.
Oh yeah.
And so we may get Thanksgiving and the next day off. Or the day before and Thanksgiving off.
Okay.
And in some cases, only Thanksgiving off. And because of that, if I'm in season, I gotta especially watch what I eat. And so, I can't be like, oh, let me get this fat ass plate of dressing and pasta and
Yeah.
Mac and cheese, duck.
Can't be
I
all
gotta
lethargic and shit.
I'm on stage damn near naked. I want to go out with biscuits and bagels.
Yeah, I feel that, man. Yo, do you? Yeah, I guess I posed that question to you, Adam and Marcus, as well. Do typically people do you all congregate at one house, or do you make several trips because we all have significant others? So do you try to maybe split the holidays where you go Christmas at her place and then Thanksgiving at your place, or vice versa, or do you go to both when you get multiple plates or what have you?
So
what you said.
For
all
me,
of that.
it's a little weird. So because I was out of state, sometimes out of country during those times, it was just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like it was just us. And I'm not one to travel for holidays. It's like, I'll see you when I see you. Because I love traveling. I don't like traveling when I know everybody in the world is going to be traveling. It's like I'm gonna pass on that.
I think Thanksgiving or Christmas, one of those two, is like the busiest day for travel of the year or something like that.
Is very much so a hassle to be traveling on the holiday. And I get where you're coming from. I guess maybe one time I said that, but I wish I could. But I wish I did that more often and was just like, hey, this year, we just gonna chill at the house and have our own little thing or whatever. Because it is a hassle going, okay, we gotta go here, then you want it to be split up fairly, and fairly probably not the word, but you want to see everybody and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard sometimes. It ends up just being exhausting.
Exactly. And for me, I'm like trying to put this in the words that is not offensive. It's like, for me, it's like I love
Not being
people.
formal about it.
Yeah, for me, it's like I love people. I love my family. I love her family. But sometimes it's like I just, even holiday or not, I just don't want to, because it's so much, for me at least, it's a lot of energy to just be in a room with people, because you
You're
got
an introvert. That makes sense.
Yeah, so you have to. I saw a meme a while ago. It was like, it was like, if I have to fake smile, I'm not coming. And like that,
Bro, I feel that.
That resonated so much with me, because like I gotta go and pretend like I'm social. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just a drag sometimes. Like,
Dude,
I don't feel like
yeah.
I
feel you. This
And
about
that's
to
no
sound.
disrespect. It's just like, if it was like on a random day in the summer, I'm way more for it, because I know like her family like would do like a barbecue or something at her grandparents' house in Chicago, and it's always fun.
Yeah, stuff like that is always more
Yeah.
fun than a plan. Like, today we're gonna be here at
But
this time. Like,
Did you feel more
when
pressure?
it's for a holiday, it's like, it's much more pressure, and it's like,
yeah.
I'll go and enjoy myself, but and then it's cold outside, and it's just a lot of things. This makes it like unpleasant.
Yo, that's actually funny, because I feel you. Oh, this is about to sound funny, but I feel you so hard on that. But like, that's something that like my girl and I have talked about, or Nat and I have talked about actually quite often, just in general, like not even in regards to holidays, but like when her and I first got together, she would just inevitably invite me to things. And now she's like, how do you feel about this? Do you feel like going or no? Like, and I appreciate her considering me, because I might just, in that moment, just not want to go. I might be having a day or a moment where I just don't want to, I don't have nothing to talk about, so I don't want to force it. I don't want to do that fake smile thing. So now she's like, yeah, so I'm down, but Aaron's attentive. I'll see what he's feeling, And I love it so much, man. Because she used to be like, yeah, we'll be there, no problem.
Yeah.
So 5 o'clock. I'm like, oh, 5 o'clock. Okay, here comes 5 o'clock. Okay.
Pre-COVID, it was when I was especially introverted, or being especially introverted. I used to always say, like, do I feel like peopling today? Because you just ask yourself, like, if I get into this environment, it's gonna require, so much of me, like Adam was saying, that I'm like, is that even who I am or what I'm trying to be right now?
No.
Because as soon as I'm not that, everybody gonna go, is he okay? What's going on? I think he ain't feeling it today, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, it's just,
yeah.
Yo,
I'm
you
cool.
know what? Nowadays, I'm more likely to like, no, let me explain to you what I am right now. Let me do it. Let's do it. Let's get intense right now. It goes from like 0 to intense, and I'm expressing it.
Sometimes those moments are fun though. When somebody's like, "Oh, how you doing?" and then you give them like a real Russian ass answer, where you like tell them how your life is vigorously going down the toilet in real time, and they wanted to hear okay or good, and you told them a real answer.
Yeah.
And
sometimes that's kind of refreshing to me, because like, a lot of times, like, the interaction is just so like, hey, how's your day going? Like,
yeah, and they already expect
monotonous to hear the same type of
disingenuous.
And they already expect what you're gonna say. So like, that's why it throws them off, because they're like waiting for you to say something. So I'm like, no, this is actually it. I didn't necessarily want to come here, and now I feel I'm forcing it. So because of that, you about to get a motherfucking earful.
But you know what's crazy though? Like sometimes when I feel like that, but I still kind of maybe force myself to go, I end up being like rewarded. It ends up being a rewarding thing. Man, anytime.
Very true.
At first, it's like, I don't want to, but then you get the family spirit in you, and it's just like, this was rewarding, and I needed this, you know.
Most definitely.
Hey Josh, just to go back like a minute, you said like a Russian ass answer or something like that. Is that like a Russian thing?
I've heard a couple of different people be like, never ask someone how they're doing in Russia.
The reason why I say this is because when I was in Korea, I was doing a lot of photo shoots and stuff. There was a Russian girl. She was from Russia, and she was telling me the story about she had a roommate that was American, and she was like, her roommate, the American girl, asked her how she was doing, and she told her like, I'm going through this, going through that, and the girl was like, yeah, in America we typically just say I'm doing fine. I just thought it was funny because it's like, is that really a thing? I guess it is a thing. So
because
they probably more brash than others.
Actually, in Europe,
I think it's
the same way.
Okay.
I think it's literally a thing of, because culture-wise, that question is not an empty question.
Yeah.
And so like for whatever the culture, the language, like whatever it translates as, like if you ask me how I'm doing, you're legitimately asking me that. It's not a passive question.
Yeah, you can't probably translate it as a what's the word, rhetorical type question.
Man, that's interesting. Because I actually, like, for me, I don't know when this happened for me, but for me, when I greet people, I ask them how they're doing, even though I'm not actually asking them. But I don't know when that changed in me, like a few years ago, maybe. Instead of just saying, "Hey, what's up?" I'll say, "Hey, how are you?" Even though I don't actually mean to ask. Even I don't actually care how they're doing. I'm just
see, that's my thing. Like if I ask you, I'm serious when I say, "How are you?" And if you say good or whatever, I'm good. Like that's a good enough answer. We don't have we can stop talking there. But you know what I'm saying? That it's like that's the problem. It can serve as a problem in society.
More often than not, when someone says, "Yo, how you doing?" I'll be like, "Black." And it's mainly just to see how they react to it, because I know they're gonna make it a race thing, and what's funny is it's not. So,
and I'm gonna start following up. On people's good. Like, what's good? What's good? So,
like,
great.
I mean, that
I want to see their reaction. They probably be like, "What?"
Really and truly, that's some Gary Chicago shit. You good is 7 different questions.
Yeah.
You good? Are you good?
Damn, dog, you good. Damn, you good. Yeah.
You good.
No, you good.
So
good. Get away.
Like, nah, you good. Like, no,
you good, bro.
Yeah, once you tell me you good, I'm like, all right, cool.
Or like, if somebody step on your shoe or something, you telling them that you good. Like, you assuring them.
You're not gonna shoot me this time.
Everything's okay. Yeah. I'm not one of the killers. You can
Don't worry, these are the 3s, not the 11s.
Yo, that's
I have no idea what that means.
I
know it's a Jordan thing, but
I just know
myself from that so hard.
I just know the 11s are supposedly supposed to be pretty like loved. So I just that's all I know.
Yeah, that's real.
This it's funny. I just thought about something that, like, I wonder if you guys have been told that this is like a male thing versus a female thing, but like I feel like I've always been that way. I have my moments for sure. You get me on the right topic, and I can talk for a while. But I have, like, even growing up, like my family just got to noticing that, like, there are certain parts of a day where I just don't have that much to say or don't want to force it. So like I think that's kind of where it stemmed from when I say, hey, how are you doing? Or after you tell me how you're doing, that's enough. That's good. That's enough. And I just remember growing up, my aunt would say, like, so you don't have anything else? Like any probing, like any other probing questions? So she asked me about like a situation when I was with somebody, and she was, so what do you know about him? I'm like, he's doing good today or whatever. He's cool. And then so like, you didn't learn anything else. You didn't learn anything else. And the reason why that's funny, because Natalie, like 2 months ago, we had that same conversation. She was like, so you're hanging out with that guy? And she just asking normal questions. And I'm just like, oh, you know, we just hung out. It was cool. We vibed. It was dope. She's like, so anything else? She says, I don't ask probing questions enough. And it's just funny to hear that. And then I'm like somewhere around at some point in my life, I heard people say that it's just like slough it off as like, oh, that's just like a guy thing. To like guys, to not really. So I wonder, like, have you guys heard that as well, or?
I don't. Go ahead, Marco.
I have similar experiences, so I think it is actually what we specifically care about a little more. Like if we hung out, we would probably remember a way different detail about it than maybe she would want to know. So, but I mean, you didn't offer that either. So, but a lot of times I'm like that too. Well, I remember, you know how when you come home from school type conversation is like, so how was school? Like,
Yeah.
And it's like, we have how many different periods and all, like we have to transition.
How can I answer that?
It's a lot of experiences to summarize, or even it gets monotonous every day today sometimes in school. So it's like, I don't have a great I don't have a great story every time after school.
Right.
Or maybe I'm probably exhausted a little bit, but
or my great story, I don't think I should tell you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I just remember that being the case a lot in school, like with that conversation.
Yeah. I would even offer that I don't know that that's a guy-girl thing. I think that's a environmental conditioning thing. Because I know I'm more inquisitive now than I was in my younger years. And we could even say there was a moment, you know, where Marcus disappeared for 3 years. And and we were like, like the time we got Marcus on the phone, we were like, yo, Mark, what you been up to, man? And he was like, chilling. Like he didn't offer. We hadn't spoken in years, and he didn't offer any like real information. So it's like it's hard for me to like summarize it all in one. Like we would probably have to, like this is like a platform to explain further, like to unpack. It's like
I feel you.
But I feel you. And that was not like a slight to Marcus, but I was like, no, just have that. Like we do that. We used to do that heavy back in the day.
Yeah, I think I honestly appreciate in-depth questions because I may not be. I think that's the major thing about like even I'll go back with the school thing. Like maybe if the question was like more directly about something specific, then my memory can pinpoint something. But it's like, okay, in this aspect of life, I've been doing this. In this aspect of life, I've been, but I guess,
I agree with that.
Yeah. It's kind of, I guess what I'm saying is that it's kind of overwhelming for one point in time to explain,
I agree, dude. It's funny. I used to get, I used to hear my grandfather on the phone, and like, he's not always a man of many words, just in general. And like, whenever somebody would like call him, because he really liked taking calls anyway, which is funny because like him and my grandmother seemed to be like the exact opposite. She was like a socialite and shit, so it was very interesting. But So you get them on the phone and you say, and in particular, like my sister or something, like she always would like call, I'd be like, hey, what's up? And he'd be like, how am I supposed to answer that? And like it just in his grandfather, his old like slow grandfather way, like, I don't like what? It's been 2 weeks. How do I, what do you want? What do you ask that question? What does it actually mean? It's just so funny, man. And like to some degree I feel him, but it's just, I think sometimes he'd be a little harsh, but it just made me think of that, man, because like I'm probably overdoing it. I'm overplaying it about saying like I do say how you doing, and that's like I care about that more. But I guess it depends on the topic. It depends on how I'm feeling. If I really have much to say, if I feel inspired to say something, there are more variables, I guess. But it's just funner. It's just more fun to overdo it.
It's
Makes
fun,
it
it's
more
funny.
entertaining.
Thank you for saying entertaining. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Hey, do y'all? I think you had a thought already fired up.
And it'll be pretty easy to answer, I think.
Okay.
How do you hate or enjoy awkward conversations? Like when something happens and the conversation got awkward, do you lean into it? Do you try to veer away from it?
Lean into it, man.
Nowadays, I'm definitely leaning into
I
it.
invite all awkwardness.
Yeah, I try to create those moments, especially if it's racial or
now here's the question:
racial or political. I purposely try to create that.
I have a follow-up question though. So we all seem to, well, at least three of us for sure. John hasn't answered yet. We say we want to lead into it. There's a difference though. It's one in creating where it's, at least initially, it feels like those other person's uncomfortable first, or you recognize it in them first, versus it tends to happen like when it's uncomfortable for you and it's awkward, it tends to feel like it came more out of the blue. So it catches you off guard because that just seems to be how life is. Do you still, because I was more so meaning like I want to lean into those more because I used to run from them all the time. Or my first instinct would be always to run, and like now I want all the smoke.
I think what I really meant about that was just like when you create like a feeling like we are both human here, like it breaks down like at first maybe it's awkward, but I just like people to realize like we all different and we all kind of awkward. So like it's nothing to be ashamed of when people are talking and I like people's what makes you. So it's like it's not it may feel awkward, but I think it just turns into like I understand you better, or it takes the tension out of our interaction.
Yeah, it makes things feel more approachable or like relatable. Yeah.
I don't know that's always true, because a lot of times, maybe it's just me and Adam, because you said they become racial or political. A lot of times awkward moments in family situations especially is because they said some wild ignorant shit, and I now have to go, okay, like it's like it. You saw a Cheerios commercial with a gay couple, and you're like, look at this, look at them trying to make it normal. And I was like, white folks said that about niggas. So like I don't.
But I mean, as long as them situations don't turn into a fight or something, is all
Yeah, there's conflict that usually comes from this. But I mean, ain't nobody boxing, but
y'all scuffling.
Squaring up.
There's a verbal debacle.
Yeah, I don't mind those. I don't mind those.
I gotta say, I would prefer that come out at some point also, rather than like not. I'd want to know that that's how you feel, right?
I'm not trying to always be on that, but it's just like
no.
What it is, what it is.
It gets on my nerves a little bit because I do feel like I'm the main one that be arguing shit.
Well, that's probably why you probably the main. Sometimes I just stay away from it. You know,
I'm picking my battles.
engaging.
Yeah,
but it's. I guess I'm trying to relate that to the awkward thing because it could be a lot of angles of this awkward conversation. Like,
absolutely.
That's why I was asking. Like, there's difference between like, you know, being you creating the, I guess like Adam said, creating the awkward moment for somebody and somebody saying something that throws you off, that caught you off guard, and now you feel awkward.
Or somebody trying to be awkward and overly unnecessary, like just being extra. Like this,
that's different. Yeah,
this never had to be like this. Like, why are you inviting this type of
energy? Yeah.
So different definitions of awkward. Kind of.
I agree. I agree with that. I think my awkward. What was that?
That was me moving a chair. My bad. Somebody screaming and shit.
Pulled out a trumpet.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, honestly, at the same time, I moved this chair. There was a fire truck driving by too. So it was a beautiful melody.
But no,
minor chord.
The ATL.
Too often my awkward moments I don't get to make I wish I could make more jokes instead of more points.
I feel that. Me too, man.
Yeah.
Still have that lightness in you to make jokes, like lightheartedness in the moment. Yeah.
Because I can let a lot of shit roll if there's a joke to make. But if you're just saying something stupid, like after Trump won and someone was like, these white folks are just so crazy now, and I was like, now, like, and so it's like it's stuff like that. I'm like, come on now.
Yeah,
Adam.
For me, like, I mean, honestly, I have. So for me, the point I'm making, it kind of involves the awkward thing and the election, so it kind of fuses it together. So like I remember saying something about like I remember posting something on Facebook saying like something along the lines of like there's a lot of black people saying that to not don't vote for Trump, don't vote for Biden. So I was like, so what are we supposed to do? And that was kind of like my question. And it was sort of a real question, but then it sort of wasn't. Because like I was curious to see what people had to say. I actually was curious.
Right.
But I knew who I was gonna vote for anyway, so you know. But anyway, so I said what I said, and I have family members hop in the comments, you know, that's kind of been talking crazy this whole time anyway. My brother being one, and then my cousin being another one. And it's just like it's like for family members, it's like I try to back off the awkward, like I don't want to create any tension with them because like, you know, it's my family, whatever. Unless it's just like just warranted and it is what it is. But so if it's family, I won't go in as heavy. But if it's somebody, just a random person on Facebook, then I don't care. Or it don't have to be like a stranger. It could be somebody I know, but not my family. Then I'll still go in pretty heavy. But so I don't know. It just depends on the situation, I guess. Is it worth the energy? Is it, you know, what's going to be the outcome of this? Like, for example, my brother was like, he was like, what did he say? He was like, would you drink two poisonous things? I forgot what the things were. Would you drink cyanide or arsenic? And I'm like, okay, you're definitely being dramatic here. It's like, we're talking about two presidential candidates, not poisoning yourself. And it's like I'm not even gonna get on him because he be on some craziness anyway.
This older brother, younger brother?
Older.
Word. Okay.
So it's like obviously you're being extreme, so I'm not even gonna entertain that. But I think what I ended up saying was I kind of took Josh's approach where I just made a joke out of it because I just wasn't trying to go down that path.
It's a defense mechanism.
I was like, I'm gonna drink whichever one that doesn't have white supremacists on speed dial. Cheers. You know, and it's like, and then he didn't say anything, so it's like, okay. So yeah, it just depends on the situation, who the person is. You know, it kind of
Yeah.
depends on, like, if it's just a random person I work with, then I'm going full throttle. So
Nah, yo, that's true because like you have different access. You can have different conversations with different people. For
yeah.
sure.
Oh,
Like you have
absolutely.
different access to maybe more in-depth conversations with certain people, whereas you don't have that same access. Or it's might take longer with someone else, or you can speak more brashly with certain people, or be more frank with some than others. Some you
Yeah.
gotta be a little softer with before you get to the point or what have you.
I love that you said the same thing 7 different ways.
Yeah.
He was like, you gonna get one of these synonyms.
Yo, they were slightly different, all right? They were slightly
You can say it frank, you can be blunt, you can be. I was like, yo, this.
you gotta be sweeter, man. You gotta be softer.
Got that thesaurus on deck.
Well, on that one, guys, I think that's a decent place to wrap up. We didn't talk about Christmas, Kwanzaa, or Hanukkah. Do y'all have any last thoughts y'all want to say on any of those? On any plans you have? Do you even acknowledge any of them? Are you like, nah, I don't want to try Jesus, or you know?
I mean, let them be merry.
Don't matter if it's Kwanzaa or Hanukkah. We getting lit.
Winter solstice.
I feel you. Yo, I caught it, Josh. I caught it.
Thank you. I was like, I thought it was a decent joke.
Went over my head. I'll catch it on the
Good.
edit.
I used to be one of the. I used to be. Was it Emerson?
Gonna miss something in there.
Was it elementary school where I was one of the people who went up and like lit the candles, and then I tripped on my way going back to my seat. Incredibly embarrassing.
I remember them pushing Kwanzaa when we were small.
Yeah,
when we were in elementary school, it was like kind of a very big thing at the time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you heard Coochie Chakalia, and no young black child can hear that word without laughing. And so,
definitely forgot about that. That's great.
I'm gonna just say this real quick about Christmas. Like, please don't be pressured to buy something you ain't got the money for. Like, just send somebody a card.
That's a word. That's a bar.
Yeah, for real.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So
just send them good sentiments. Like, yo, like, are you good? Like, I know.
yeah.
And there's a lot of people going in debt, and like, your kids love you, man. You don't have to spend. I mean, it's relative to how much money you have, of course, but don't put yourself in a hole like people really doing that.
And don't feel like doing that is gonna mend a relationship that needs a conversation, that actually needs a real conversation too.
Yeah. Also, Jesus only got 3 gifts, so your kid don't need 30 of them. So.
Yo, we got so many. You good? Could be a topic. Jesus only got 3 gifts. Could be a topic.
And he didn't get them that night, so if it's a little late, be patient.
Yeah.
and that this is gonna sound real judgmental. I'll never get that thing where like your child don't have none of the like, you know, stuff for this remote learning, and if they get a PS5, that baffles. Your child don't have consistent internet to be in school, but you got them a PS5.
Yeah,
increase your bandwidth.
Oh, that's
for sure.
Right.
Yeah, facts.
Oh man, but yo, thank you for listening to another episode of the InforMILLy Honest podcast. We want to thank y'all so much for tuning in for season 1. This is going to be episode, I think, like 29 to 30, one of those.
I think like 30, 31 maybe, 30-ish.
Word, okay.
30-ish.
So we want to thank y'all, man. If you 30-ish. if you've been enjoying it, don't worry, we are coming back. Hopefully we'll have some sponsors and shit when we come back so we can, have a Patreon and all of that we can bring you more. Get you some deals on some, I don't know, ball shaving or healthy cereal.
What's the
build your own website.
What's the underwear? Me undies.
Me undies or Hawthorne or
man.
Blue Chew.
Ready for some product placement. Ready.
I know. Send me some of them. We'll talk about it.
Yo, for real. Yo.
Regardless, man, we love y'all. This has been so fun. 2020 has not been great, but we were able to make a product that we're proud of inside all of this, and we're glad that you tuned into it. And if you just joining on episode 30-ish, then by all means, go back to episode 7 and listen through there. Not to ignore 1 through 6, but just,
join us.
It's been great. Join the conversation. Hashtag.
Fantastic
fellas, what's your sign off? What you want to lead the people with?
Look out for season 2. It's gonna be better. I think we haven't really talked about season 2 yet, but we just gonna say it's gonna be better.
Gonna be better. We gonna be better. So it's gonna be better.
Yeah, look out for merch too. We might introduce some merch next year.
Yeah,
most definitely. I got some designs in mind.
Yo, and Twitter coming soon as well. So look out for that. And I guess I'm
and
gonna
a private
people...
Snapchat and an OnlyFans.
It's only right. It's only appropriate.
Split screen OnlyFans.
We're not gonna make the porn. We're gonna make picture-in-picture commentaries on other porns.
Reaction videos.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave the people with one question. You good?
Yo, as you go into your holiday season, please, we encourage you to have conversations with your family, have conversations with your friend, call up somebody that you love when you were a kid that you ain't heard from in forever. See how they're doing, and by all means, engage them. And, to whatever comfort level makes sense for you, lean into the awkward, be challenging. You're probably going to find out some shit that you don't like, but there still might be some
common
goodness
ground
in there. Well,
find the common ground, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And above all else, we have to make sure that every conversation that you have is forthright, vulnerable, and motherfucking honest.
See y'all next year.
Peace, y'all.